Welcome to my do-it-yourself kitchen cabinet update project. As you can see over my left shoulder, I've taken some of the cabinet doors off, painted them, giving them a fresh modern look. As you can see over my right shoulder, those are what the cabinets used to look like. Now over my left shoulder is the ultimate goal. I want to get all of the cabinet doors to look like that, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Very simple, easy, and cheap project here at home. So first thing that we're going to want to do is go ahead and take the cabinet door off. I'll show you how I do that here. To take the door off, it's rather simple. You've got two hinges here that need to come off. One at the bottom, one at the top. But you do have a few different options on how to take that hinge off. You've got all of these different screws here. You could take the door off itself and leave the hinge connected to the actual cabinet by taking out these two screws. You could keep half of the hinge on the door and leave the other half on the frame by taking out that screw in the middle there. Or you can take the whole door off with the hinge by taking out just one screw here. And that's what I am going to choose to do. So all I need here is a screwdriver. In this case, I'm using an electric driver to make it easy. And I'm going to take the bottom screw out first. Very nice. And then I just need to take the screw out at the top now. Of course, I might need to maneuver around in a way that I'll bump the camera here. Now let's take the top screw out here. All right. All right, so here we are in the garage where the project is going to take place. Let's go over the equipment that we're going to be using for repainting the cabinets here. So, of course, I've got my paint here. This is Paint Plus Primer. It's interior satin enamel. It's just white, standard white. I've got a foam roller here. I've got a 1-inch paintbrush. I have some sandpaper here, very fine sandpaper. It is P220. And I've got some old towels and rags here that I'll be using to help out here with extra paint and some cleaning. So I've got my cabinets here, and the cabinets are pretty dirty. So they probably haven't been cleaned since the 90s. So the first thing that I am going to do is get them all cleaned up. I've got a bucket of water here, and in there I have a SOS pad, steel wool, that I'm going to be using just to get the cabinets cleaned up a little bit. I don't know if you can see there, there's a nice, this is the top of the cabinet, line of grease right there on the top. Delicious. So let's get these cleaned up here. For that, I'll be using my towel here and my sandpaper, my SOS pad, and just getting these cleaned up and ready to take some paint. There we go. Now it's all cleaned up, ready to sand it down. Now here, I also have these old plastic organizers, and these are going to work great to set the cabinet doors on to do my work here. Now what I want to do is sand this down. So I'm going to use my P22 paper here. Now here we are ready for some paint. I've sanded both of the doors here. Got my paint and my roller ready. And load up your brush and go for it. Now take your 1-inch paintbrush and go ahead and get the bottom part of the door here and any cracks as well. Right here, this seam, that foam roller doesn't get in there very well. So make sure to fill in the gaps here, and we'll let this dry, and then we will put on a second coat. It will need 2 coats. The cabinet doors are out in the garage drying, so I'm going to use this time to go ahead and paint the outsides of the cabinets here. Now, my wife and I have decided that we don't want to paint inside the cabinets, the drawers and the backs and everything. We're just going to give it a facelift. Everything on the front, all of this wood trim here that's showing, we are going to paint. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit with a damp towel and then get it ready and just put some paint on it while the cabinet doors are drying. Now it looks like I've done as much as I can without taking these cabinet doors off. Now it's time for me to take the rest of the cabinet doors off and then get the fronts of the cabinets all painted. And that is it. I am going to put a pin in it for today. All in all, it was about a 6-hour work day. And I painted these 2 cabinets behind me. I did end up putting 3 coats of paint on them. So a lot of that time was actually just waiting for the paint to dry so I could put on my next coat. I also did take off all the fronts of the cabinets here in this area, all 6 of these here, and then I painted in between on the front of the cabinet that is actually fastened to the wall, just to give it a nice, sleek, modern white look throughout. And then also there's an open-faced cabinet at the end that I painted as well. So that's it. It's really easy to update these cabinets. This townhome was built in 1985, and I'm assuming these are the original cabinets over here that came with the townhome at the time of the build. Wash, rinse, and repeat. I just got to take off these doors and do the rest of the cabinets here in the kitchen. I'm really, really happy with how these cabinets turned out, and so is my wife. I did ask her opinion on this. The last thing that we want to do, just to put the final little touch on it, is just to get some handles. They sell little handles that you can buy at the hardware store for about $1 a piece is probably the ones that we're looking at. They're nice silver handles that I think will go with the nice flat white color that we have here in the kitchen. It really does brighten it up already. I can already feel or see the brightness, that it's really improving how it feels in here. It had a yellow tint to it, obviously, because these are kind of yellowish to begin with. So it's really brightened up the kitchen already. And we're excited to finish up the cabinets here and keep it at a budget. All in all, probably cost us about $75 to do all of the cabinets here in the kitchen. And that does include the price of the handles. So that's how you do it. You can update your cabinets as well. Really cheap and easy way to give it a fresh look. Love to hear from you other DIYers out there. If you've given this a try, go ahead and leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Drew Smith.